He's coming home back to me on the 503, and it won't be long. Won't be long. I've been so lonesome since the man has been gone. Ain't a thing worth mentioning been going on. That's why I know when the whistle blows, it won't be long. It won't be long. My daddy told me when he said goodbye, yes he did. I'll be back, baby, honey, by and by. That's why I've waited so doggone long. Can't you see how happy I am? Because the man is making it home somehow. Here I be by the railroad tracks, waiting for my baby. He's coming on back to me on the 503. And it won't be long. It won't be long. I ain't had no loving since you know when. He's a long, long rooster. I'm a lonesome hen. That's why I'm so sure when the whistle blows, it won't be long. It won't be long. I'm so excited. More knees are shaking, yeah. Mr. Engineer, don't you keep me waiting. You hear me telling me hurry, 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 hurry. Baby, here I am on the railroad tracks, waiting for my baby. He's coming on back. That's why I know when the whistle blows, it won't be long. It won't be long. And I know when the whistle blows, it won't be long. It won't be long. And I know when the whistle blows, it won't be long. It won't be long. I really know when the whistle blows that it won't be long.
Well, that was Aretha Franklin, unfortunately no longer with us. God bless her. God bless her. Democrats try to co-opt her as a political icon that has to do with feminism, and she was nothing of the sort. She was a talented American artist, and she will be missed. And she will be missed. She will be terribly missed. Welcome to my live stream, my friends. Welcome, welcome. Let me introduce myself. My name is Andre Lefevre. Andre Lefevre. I am a citizen journalist and extreme libertarian. And I like to mouth off on things political, things cultural, things interesting. And the only true big story is the shadow that the Nazi Democratic Party is casting over our country. They decided to start with Alex Jones, InfoWars, and they are in full force trying to ban him and the rest of us, libertarian and Christian conservatives, from the public square. And if they succeed that, the next step, I'm convinced, will be concentration camps and death. Because Democrats are direct ideological descendants of Nazis, National Socialist Party of Germany, and the Marxist communists of Russia, and more recently of China. And that's how people who believe in those ideologies deal with opponents. First, they ban them from the social life, Muslim, and then they herd them in concentration camps to murder them in mass. Now, Alex Jones is still capable of broadcasting. They weren't able to muzzle him. I found this video of his on a real dot video, which I opened my own channel on it. So fair use, but I know that Alex Jones wouldn't object. So listen to a good portion of this broadcast that he had.
Tired of the censorship? Discover Real Dot Video.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is undoubtedly the most important broadcast I've ever done in my life. The mainstream corporate media is in every major paper in the country, every so-called news channel, saying that President Trump wants violence against the media, that I want violence, that I'm calling for assault weapon attacks on the media, and then they don't even show where I said it. This is grave. It means we could be hours, days, weeks away going into this election in, 82 days from now, to stage a huge event, just like evidence shows Bill Clinton and the deep state did in '95 when they were way behind the polls, to blame the Midwest and the American people for Oklahoma City, to then get a sympathy vote for the Democrats and Bill Clinton. They are saying that imminent attacks are going to happen and the blood will be on President Trump's hands. They are now saying imminent attacks are coming and that it's going to be my fault. How obvious. The very same deep state with the Clintons in control of it has done this before and was able to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat in 1995. Bill Clinton told USA Today on Air Force One, pull it up. He said, I was able to win re-election and cover behind because of Oklahoma City. Now they're saying that I'm promoting a new Oklahoma City. Let me show you some of these incredible articles if you're a TV viewer. Look at this. CNN yesterday. Alex Jones complicit in domestic terror. Alex Jones is a domestic terrorist. No proof, no links, no nothing. Articles saying that I'm calling for assault weapon attacks. Nowhere is there a video. All they show is quotes around single or two words connected together. When Antifa said they were coming to attack members of Congress and their families, I said, you better get your battle rifles ready. They then show a quote and say, Antifa, mainstream media, Chi-Com operatives. And Twitter took me offline for that fraud.
I posted this on my Twitter account, links to that video. I also posted that on my YouTube channel, Andre L, Andreil, Andreil. The whole video is about 13 minutes and 5 seconds, and it's well worth listening to. Well worth listening to. I do believe that Democrats are capable of this. I do believe that the Democrat Party is run by deranged megalomaniacs who do want to control us, who do not hold United States as their home, do not share our ideas of freedom, because they have committed, Democrats throughout their history, have committed countless atrocities, countless atrocities. They supported slavery, they supported Jim Crow, they supported internment of Japanese prisoners, they support the virtual enslavement of people of color in the inner city neighborhoods, and they have never shed their racist roots, never, ever. As a matter of fact, Nazis patterned their Nuremberg laws on the Jim Crow laws of the Democrats in the South. Moving on. Not everything looks bleak. Not everything looks bleak. I found this story on, where did I find Bitcoinmagazine.com. Bitcoiners are losing faith in Twitter, inspire an exodus to Mastodon. Let me read you a couple of paragraphs. The censorship got to a great number of very talented, mostly young tech professionals. It is no secret that a growing number of Bitcoiners are unhappy with Twitter. A mix of perceived censorship through shadow banning and the lack of serious action being taken by the platform to remove the notorious either giveaway bots, give aggravated calls for a decentralized alternative to the in visiting social media Goliath. Although members of the community have been vocal about this for a while, it seems that recent moves like the unexplained temporary suspension of BHB Network's Guacamo Zuko yesterday, of the simultaneous purging of InfoWars Alex Jones content by social media platforms like Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and Apple have finally catalyzed the transition. Enter Mastodon, distributed social media platform. Mastodon is both very similar to and very different from Twitter. At a glance, one might be forgiven mistaking it for TweetDeck. Many of its features have been cloned, including the ability to tweet or toot, retweet, boost, and like favorites. Some enhancements have been added in, including more granular privacy control, and up to 500 characters are available for microblogging. Here's Mastodon.social. There is a, let me read this. Let me see if I can enlarge this. There's an interesting note up here. And as you can see, Mastodon hosted on Mastodon.social. This page describes the Mastodon social. Let's see. Registration on this server are currently closed due to high demand. Please sign up on the knzk.me instead. It is a different server in the decentralized Mastodon network with a very similar code of conduct to ours. Remember, regardless of server choice, you can talk to any and follow anyone on Mastodon. All right. So this is a real shot across the bow for the Twitter. They're not anywhere close to the Twitter membership. It says home to 191,439 users. But you know what? I will bet pennies to dollars if Twitter continues to shadow ban and acquiesce to the Democrat Nazis. Twitter itself won't exist in a few years. Either Mastodon or some other platform is going to take its place. Let's see here. Next story. This is actually a sad story. Let me bring. This is from Breitbart. Democrat picked transgender candidate for Vermont governor, and Vermont Democrats have picked a man who is living as a woman to run for governor in November against incumbent Republican Governor Phil Scott. The nomination was won by Christine Hallquist, a former utility executive, and it marks the growing willingness for progressives to endorse the transgender ideology, claim that law and society should express legal, civic, and biological distinction between men and women, girls and boys. So basically what we have here is a person who is suffering from a mental illness, a man who believes that he is a woman. That's called the gender dysphoria. He is also hates everything Christian, absolute blind hatred, and he endorses everything radical Islam. Tucker had a few things to say about this man. So fair use. Let's listen to Tucker.
You can't comment upon whether that's legal or not, but it's certainly creepy. Well, in Vermont's Democratic primary yesterday, voters nominated Christine Hallquist as a candidate to be the country's first transgender governor. But the real story here is that Hallquist has tweeted nasty things repeatedly about this country's largest and very much embattled religious faith, Christianity. Hallquist repeatedly bashed Christians, tweeting this, quote, "And we worry about Sharia law, double exclamation point. Radicalized Christians are a part of the American landscape and we tolerate it," suggesting we shouldn't tolerate it, whatever that means. In response to a story about a mother stabbing her son, Hallquist tweeted this, "I'll bet she calls herself a Christian." Other tweets denounce Christian hypocrites are called even evangelists crazy. Robin Biro is a former Obama regional campaign director. Chadwick Moore is a conservative journalist from New York City, and they both join us tonight. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on. Robin, first to you. Clearly,
Yes,
there are Christians who are not worth defending. That's for certain. The Westboro Baptist freaks or whatever.
Thank
but
you.
what I'm so struck by is that there's no defending that. But in the speech codes that all of us live under, I think you'll have to admit the only religion that you can attack is Christianity. If she had subbed in another great world religion, one of the other two Abrahamic faiths, or she put Christians in there, she'd be out of the race tomorrow. Why is that?
You know, that's tricky. I looked at all of the texts that referenced the Christianity that she had sent out. And she did. You were correct to lead up to the story to say that she tweeted about a mother who killed her son because he was gay, and apparently she was a Christian, and this went against her religious beliefs. That certainly is radical and wrong and reprehensible. And you were absolutely correct to call out Westboro, who pickets, the funerals of fallen soldiers.
But they're like six of them.
Funerals.
I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and by the way,
these are
I've always
fringe
thought they're probably
elements.
liberals.
Well, these are the most fringe elements. She's calling them out. I don't want to be besmirch her free right to speech. As a transgender woman, she's come under a lot of criticism.
I don't know if she has or not. I think she's celebrated for it, actually. Let's stop pretending. Of course she is celebrated for it. But let me ask you, I'm not attacking this person. I'm just saying, Chadwick, if you're upset about people killing others for being gay, and I think we should be upset about that, it's awful.
Yes.
Is Christianity the primary offender there? Or even
I'm pretty
close?
sure, no, it's not close at all. I'm pretty sure there's another large world religion that is pretty much known for it.
But could you say that?
I don't know if I'm allowed to even say the name of it without getting harassed by the SPLC and God knows who else. You're absolutely right to acknowledge Hallquist's transgender privilege. She can get away with many, many things simply by being transgender. I mean, who knows if that's even how she won this primary. But while the entire country is fixated on the fact that she's transgender, nobody knows anything about her policies. In fact, all we can think of, all we know, well, you know that she's for Medicaid for all. She's a climate alarmist. She believes in $15 minimum wage, and that's kind of it. I mean, she was on CNN this morning, looking half dead. You could probably just very low energy. She was on CNN this morning, and she couldn't even answer the question about what socialism is. She said, "I don't know what socialism is. I'm not qualified." She was asked if she believed in capitalism, and she couldn't even answer that question. Who is this person? All we know is it's someone who's transgender, and let's just celebrate that. Can they lead the entire state of Vermont?
What would happen, Robin, if she had said there is a great world religion that actually has a long and recent track record of murdering gay people, and she just said that?
Yes.
What would her fellow Democrats have said to her, I wonder?
Are you talking about the Muslim faith?
I'm talking about the one Abrahamic faith that has a long and recent track record of murdering gays. Yeah, that would not be Christianity or Judaism. What would happen if she said that's factually true? Would she be considered brave for saying that?
It's factually true. In my opinion, yes. I'm a veteran, of course. That's a problem. So, she would have been correct to have asserted that, just as she is correct to call out people like Westboro Church and some of the radical extremists. They're radical extremists in every religion, and I think that when you become radicalized, regardless of your faith, I think that's a problem. Just like Westboro Church, as you were very correct to point out.
You're talking about
that's a problem.
But that's not actually true. I mean, in this country, and in Western Europe, at least to speak for two regions, in the last 20 years anyway, there hasn't been a lot of Christian terrorism, actually. There's been a lot of Islamic terrorism. It's not an attack on all Muslims. I like a lot of Muslims. But let's be real. But you can't be honest, can you, Chadwick? I mean, there's a penalty for just stating the obvious and the factually true.
Well, I don't understand this sort of left-wing LGBT obsession with Christians. I imagine a lot of it comes from, Hallquist talks about growing up in a Catholic school, and because he was an effeminate little boy, in his words, getting a bunch of garbage from the nuns and priests. Okay, fine. The difference between left-wing LGBTs and conservative and libertarian LGBTs is we can actually grow up and get over it and move on. And we don't still blame all of our problems on things that happen to us for children. Obviously, Christianity has moved leaps and bounds. American society in general has moved leaps and bounds from probably when Hallquist was a child, yet you still blame, like, why are you blaming an entire religion for all of your problems? And yeah, you're right, these radicalized Christians, there's like 10 of them in the country. Who cares?
Gentlemen, I'm sorry we're out of time. I appreciate both you coming on. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you so much, Tucker.
Yep. So, I don't know what to say. We're actually celebrating an insane person. Not we, but the Democrats. A man who thinks that he's a woman. And by the way, among people suffering from gender dysphoria, just like that Hallquist man, there's a huge percentage of them are suicidal and successfully, which is unheard of. Gender dysphoria has to be treated somehow. I don't think you can cure somebody from it. But seriously contemplate that a man who thinks that he's a woman is a woman. You really have to be insane yourself to agree to that delusion. Next story, which is dovetails into this. This is, I found this on Yahoo. Hold on. And it is Associated Press. Let's see what the headline is. Let me read you the story. A school district in southern Oklahoma was forced to shut down for 2 days after parents used a Facebook group to threaten violence against a transgender 7th grade student. Superintendent Rick Green closed the Argyle Public School on Monday and Tuesday after parents posted claims on Facebook group Arkill ISD parents group that the students who identifies as a girl was looking over the stalls in the girls' bathroom. So we had another case of gender dysphoria, a male student who invaded the girls' bathroom. Heads up to parents of 5th through 7th grade. Parent Jamie Greenshaw said in a now deleted post that transgender is really using the girls' bathroom. We have been told the school has gone above and beyond to make sure that he has his own bathroom, yet he's still using the girls. Really looks like it's going to be a long year. Now, I don't believe that he was threatening violence. I think this is something that people suffering from gender dysphoria make up usually. We have an insane boy who is abusing normal girls. And Democrats are taking the side of the insane against normal. This is what we're against. This is what we're against. And I, for one, I'm no longer keep my mouth shut and just hope it's going to go away. I'm going to continue mouthing off. And if I'm silenced, which I may be at some point, so be it. I was born in the Soviet Union. There's nothing Democrats can do to me that scares me. Nothing. Next story. Let me bring this one up. This is again I found on the Yahoo News. It's AP. Savannah, Georgia. A Georgia woman who mailed a secret U.S. report to a news organization faces the longest sentence ever behind bars for a federal crime involving leaks to the news media, prosecutors said in a court filing. Former National Security Agency contractor Reality Winner, that's her actual name, Reality Winner. Reality Winner 26 is scheduled to be sentenced August 23 by U.S. District Court Judge J. Randall Hall in Augusta. She pleaded guilty in June to a single count of transmitting national security information when she worked in Augusta as a translator at an NSA facility. The Winner plea deal with prosecutors calls for imprisonment of 5 years and 3 months, but the sentencing isn't bound by that agreement. Winner's crime came at a maximum penalty of 10 years. The Trump administration made prosecutors of Winner's case said 63-month sentence they're recommending is plenty stiff to deter other government workers from taking sensitive information, even if it could be tougher. Thank God. Thank God that Jeff Sessions is good for something, that his lazy ass at least curbing the Obama era plans from divulging our country's secrets. It's real simple, ladies and gents. It's real simple. Obama administration left a lot of plans who leak sensitive information to the corporate-controlled media to help Democrat Nazis win. That's it. That's it. Folks, thank you for joining me this afternoon. I appreciate it a lot more than I can ever express. Thank you, and God bless you all. God bless you.